ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
You know what? We don't look like we've been through, because it's 100 and however many days of this administration, and I am just beat.
Ma'am, so you need to adopt the unbothered
Right.
prescription that I have. I am completely unbothered. I drink my water. I get my walks in. I'll be with my people every day. I'll be with them. I'm
That's why
using
you're
Bonics
glistening.
whenever I
Yep.
feel like it. Yeah, I'm about, because here's the thing. I've assessed. I did what I was supposed to do. I spent every day on these airwaves telling people, holding up, reading from the thing, telling y'all what's going to happen. This audience did what they needed to do. Everybody got out. 92% of Black women, 92%. You can't get 92% of people to agree on anything. We agreed on this. Nearly 80% of Black men, with all of the Nellies and the Snoops and all of the assholes out there telling us something, Charlemagne's telling us doing dumb stuff. Nearly 80% of Black men said, okay, we're going to vote for that lady. So I feel good that I'm in a community that could see into the future, because we've been through some things. We knew what was going to come. Now it's going to be horrible. But that also tells me that 80 and 92% got each other's back.
Yeah.
That feels great.
Yeah,
That feels
for
great.
sure.
So
That's a
I'm
great-
actually optimistic.
That's a great way of looking at it, Karen, because I do feel like sometimes, and I think we have to guard against this being sort of this yo-yo of, oh, things are great every time you see a Supreme Court ruling or some sort of, some sort of judgment come down. You're like, oh, thank God democracy isn't going to careen into a ditch. But I think you're 100% right. One of the things that I have to remember is that, like, I just feel like we are too strong to be taken down by a reality TV show host. That's what I feel like. I hope so.
But all right, let me ask, who's we?
Well, I'd like to think the country, but you're right. It's not
okay.
just, let's
All
just say
right.
the 92%.
Let's
go with
guess
that.
what? We still will be here unless they deport us to Liberia. And I got people there. We got people everywhere. You travel, I travel. We got to listen. They're going to mess around. They already have messed around. The finding out portion is about to happen as they remove rural hospitals. Who's poor in this country? The majority of people on SNAP and WIC and do not look like me and you.
Right.
The poorest counties in this country are 95 to 99% white identified, because that's a made up construct. But from Owsley, Kentucky to all the places in Alabama and Arkansas and y'all about to find out. You voted against your health care, your teeth, and your pocketbooks to fund billionaires. We don't need any billionaires, but you gave them tax breaks for their yachts and their ships, and we give Elon Musk $8 million a day. He ain't even from this country, but you don't like immigrants. You don't let them bring in all of the trash from South Africa into this country, and they got subsidies and freaking welfare. And y'all gonna be hungry. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna feed each other. We're gonna go back. We're gonna grow some stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna have rent parties and all the things we used to do before. We're gonna do what we need to do, baby. We are equipped to make chitlins. Unfortunately, I don't want to eat chitlins, but we're equipped for them.
That's actually a great point. I mean, you're right. We have to remember that we've been through some stuff. And we know how to survive. We know not only how to survive, but how to thrive, even in situations that are difficult. We've been through tough times, but maybe I'm just not equipped. Is that I'm too soft?
No,
is that it?
No, you're beautiful. I think you have been in, unfortunately, because you came through corporate America, you were very, very successful. They put your beautiful self out there on TV. You got the nice salary, you got the homes and the thing, you got beautiful children. You got comfortable, Renee. You got comfortable thinking that, and it insulated you, because here's the truth about media. I was just reading a whole bunch of stuff. Media has always been complicit in our demise. Always. always been bought and sold, always.
Yeah.
And both of us have been part of the apparatus at some point. I was at the Daily News for 16 years of my career. I was on the editorial board. You can't get more, insider, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally writing opinions that sway people's view on certain subjects based on the owner of the paper. But it taught me something about how propaganda, how powerful it is to have a platform, which is why all of the billionaires are owning some form of media. If it's not local television, it's cable news. If it's not cable news, it's newspapers. Why are they spending billions of dollars in a losing prospect? Because all of those cable news outlets lose money. The newspapers lose money because it's power. There's power in those words. So that has taught me that we need to have platforms. And we also need to hold to account people who have platforms, who want our eyeballs and want our clicks and whatever. We should be pristine in who we give that to. It should be like your virginity. Don't just give it away. I'm saying something. Anyway, Renee, so you're not too soft. You're good though. And that's the other thing. I was saying this all along. The people who are listening to Urban View, you pay for radio. Y'all gonna be all right. You know, it's the people who thought that Trump signed the STEMI check, who thought that he actually gave them a stimulus package. Those are the people that are going to be harmed, not the people who read. But unfortunately or fortunately, we don't live in silos. There's some people who think they live in silos, that they're walled in societies. Most Black people are, have family members and friends. Like we cross pollinate and cross gen. So it's going to impact us because we're human beings and we have a soul, and we're not going to want to see anybody suffer. So some of us are going to have to step up for those, even those ignorant ass people who get their information on YouTube and Reddit and are out here proselytizing nonsense. We're going to have to take care of them, at the same time shun them publicly. Make sure that they know that they're stupid.
But not too
come
close.
Here. Yes. Come here. You're dumb. I'm going to make sure you eat, but sit your dumb ass far away from me. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I think we're more than ready for this.
Okay. All right. Well, this was the conversation I needed to have then today, because it's just, I'm tired of vacillating between this like doom and gloom to even just this little sliver of hope. You're like, oh, thank God, we're not completely off the rails. But you're right. You're 100% right. You and I both came through that corporate structure. I'm actually really glad to see the rise of, and you were doing it before, a lot of this Substack and all that started happening, but I am really excited to see the rise of independent journalism. I mean, the thing is, now you got to get, people, you got to get out there and get your subscribers, you got to get paid, all of this kind of stuff. And you do that through what you're doing, which is delivering consistently day in and day out. That's the thing where I think a lot of people drop off. They come out the gate, they're ready to go, they've got something to say, but then they sort of, it wanes after 2 or 3 weeks, just like a diet at New Year's. So it really has to be day in, day out, talking about the stuff that's uncomfortable, listening to just the stuff that can really grind you down, and just keep doing it. I think there has to also be like a higher purpose, which is for, why are you doing it? Because it certainly can't be about the paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. I mean, I came into this space with a Pulitzer and a Polk, 8 New York Times bestsellers. Like I know how to do that, right? And even when I'm looking at Substack, and I need everyone who's listening to my voice to get a Substack account. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to, but subscribe to Renee. You have a Substack?
I do.
Okay.
I don't actually have. I mean,
you have a personal.
Yes,
an account.
I need
That's
to
what, because here's the thing, because there's waves to this. Smith and I were, the team. I've been studying this for 6 months. So everybody has an individual account, which gives you kind of like, I'm myself. And shout out to Karen Hunter, the Auckland guitarist. You took my name again, but for the last 20 years, we've been orbiting each other. So I got my name on Twitter. She got the Substack, because I wasn't going to come to Substack. So I'm the Karen Hunter. I had to do that. The THE Karen Hunter on Substack. But you have to have your individual account, and you can use that individual account like Twitter. where you post things. So the more people on there following you, following me, following Loree, following Renee, now we're in community. So you first have to come in as a person. Then we're going to, because this is how I'm designing my Substack, promote the like the podcast, the like Contraband Camp. There's going to be a lot of, like, I have a whole plan, but it starts with us individually. Yeah. Like, cause you shouldn't come onto these places just to come on because everybody's there. Yeah. To your point, when I started radio, and I only mentioned the Pulitzer and the Polk because I could have come in and done radio. I'd done radio before. I did a morning show for damn 3 years. And then I had my own afternoon show competing against Wendy Williams, which was amazing in New York. But I didn't want to do radio. I said, we don't need another radio host. We need somebody that's actually going to come in and talk to people about the things that matter in their lives and actually give them solutions. So I never came into this space thinking I was going to be a journalist or a book, an author or a business person. I was always going to come in and not do radio, which is why it is so hard for people to duplicate what we do here in Urban View, because it's not scripted. We're not coming in doing radio. Now, if you've lived a life of service, you can do this. If you haven't, you're going to have a hard time if you're imitating those people. If you're doing a show on Substack that's just like the show on CNN or MSNBC, you've already failed, in my opinion. We require something different at this time. Like, let's stop mimicking and mocking the very platforms that have put us in this position to begin with.
100%. I have to give you, I'm standing and cheering because 100%. I think that corporate media has just been, again, and it's almost like biting the hand that feeds me, because that was where I cut my teeth. But it's the things that we're seeing, the 60 Minutes advanced discussions with the president over their editing over the Kamala Harris interview is like, what? And why is that? Really, is that about the editing? No, it's about the fact that Sherry Redstone is trying to sell to, whatever it is, Paramount, to Sky Media or whatever. But that's what that's about. It's not about what we're presenting to you at right here on its face. It's about the machinations that are happening behind the scenes. So you have to actually, as just a viewer or a listener, it's almost like you have to go deeper and dive and do all of the uncovering yourself. And if you're not aware that you need to do that, and if you're not like adept at that, then you're at a loss. Then you really are just taking the pablum that they're feeding you. So 100%. And I'm so excited to see all of these independent journalists crop up. So for sure.
Me too, except I'm concerned that we have been cosplaying as journalists for so long that what is needed in this time in terms of real reporting and accountability. I mean, we just saw a person have to, get their contract not renewed because they tweeted a factual, opinion, but it was rooted in truth about this administration and the people in it. And it was like, oh, we're scared. Oh my God, let's fire them, and so, or not renew their contract, which is a firing. But, we are, to your point, the thing that excited me about Substack, and, I've been sitting with it for six months. Michael Harriot first came and he's like, okay, I'm doing this thing. And I said, okay, let's do it together. And then he just went and did it. And I was like, okay. I'm looking around like, okay. All right, listen, I still support it. I was like, so what is it? And I realized that, it is an opportunity for people. Patreon, I watched Pete Dominic leave this space, and start his Patreon and was able to build his audience. And I'm like, okay, but it's still siloed and we need to come together. So the way I'm creating, because the way I'm always going to create is in community. So, I'm going to feature Contraband Camp in my space. I'm going to feature Qasim Rashid in my space, and all of the people who are already, Larry Daniel Favors and Clay Kane, everybody's going to be featured in my space. I have a podcast network. All of that's going to be featured in my space so that people have one place to come and they can engage. Reese Colbert is going to be featured. Like, everybody can be under one umbrella, so you don't have to look at 50,000 different websites. That's how I'm building, because that's how you build. You build centering people, period.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will